Hey folks, welcome to this week's episode of The Natural Medic Adventures. I'm your host, Craig the Natural Medic. On this week's episode, we're going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to show you how to make homemade beef jerky. You're aware right now, prices are high on everything, and maybe this way will help you to control the ingredients that you have in your food, and also maybe possibly save you some money. Let's see what happens. Another shirt to show you. I showed one last week. My new shirt is called Get Lost, and it's available on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. Let's go ahead and get ready to cook some jerky. For those of you that follow pop culture, you might be able to see what's on this apron here. Might be a familiar show to you. What do you need for making beef jerky? We're going to make a marinade, so we're going to need a whisk. We're going to be cutting up meat. I'll show you what kind of meat exactly. Probably any knife will do, any chopping knife. This one is a Sentoco knife that I've used a lot of times before. Of course, I've washed my hands. I didn't want to do that on camera, but I did wash my hands. You can also wear gloves for safety's sake. I've got a cutting board here. This one is just a bamboo cutting board. And I've got a variety of spices. Now, how you want to mix yours up might vary from mine, and that's okay. You have some base ingredients here. Your main two base ingredients for the marinade are these things right here: soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. Hopefully I'm saying that. I've heard people say it a million different ways. But you're going to mix those up as your base for your marinade. You might have things in there like black pepper. This is just ground black pepper. Nothing fancy there. A little garlic powder, a little bit of, this is from Trader Joe's. It's called South African Smoke, like an African barbecue flavor. Got some honey, just regular honey, some ground paprika, and some ground cayenne pepper. I'm going to combine in this bowl here in just a minute. Let's take a look at the meat. So the meat that I have is from my local Kroger, and it is Nolan Ryan brand. Doesn't have to be that brand, but this is a skirt steak that's Angus, and we're going to cut that up into small strips. I'll show you that here in just a little bit. So let's make our marinade. I've already poured up some soy and Worcestershire sauce. That's already ready to go. If I need more, I'll just pour some out of these new bottles. That's why I went ahead and got some extra bottles. Let's go ahead and get our bowl over here. The first thing we're going to put in is our soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. I'm not quite sure if that's enough. We'll see once we get the other ingredients in there. I'm going to make this pretty much like Grandma used to make it. That is, I'm not really going to measure. I'm just going to put amounts I think would be okay. That's the cayenne pepper, paprika. Come back to the honey in a minute. The South African smoke is pretty potent, so we're not going to put a whole lot in there. Honey we'll put in a little bit later. Garlic powder and a little bit of just regular old ground black pepper. Okay. Lastly, we're going to put a little bit honey into our deal. Now we got everything in there. We're going to start stirring it up and see what we can see. So we're going to whisk it ever so smoothly. Get everything blended in the way that we want. We're going to add a little more liquid. I think this needs more liquid. We're going to add about the same amount Worcestershire sauce. Alright, some more Worcestershire sauce. So that's probably good there. And next we're going to add a little more soy. One thing to think about is with a cheaper cut of meat, you're going to have a lot of fat to remove. The fat is important to remove because that's the part that's going to go bad. That's going to decrease your shelf life or your shelf stability. Because beef jerky, as we know, we can open it up and it's good for a couple of days. We want to cut this so that we can get a small strip of this meat. It has more fat in it than I would like, but it's going to have to work. We'll probably trim it up again, but I'm not going to make you watch me cut all of this meat. But just to get an idea, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to cut small strips of your meat. Any excess fat on there, I'm not going to show you right now on camera, but any excess fat on there, I'm going to trim off and remove. Because as I said, that's going to affect your shelf life. So we've got the meat cut up. I've got the fat off of it. It was a little fatty. You definitely want to have a leaner cut of meat. So this is an experiment, but we're going to see if it works anyway. So I'm going to get this meat. I've got the marinade in the sack here. Get it all shaken up and coated. Going to let that stay in the fridge for about 2 hours or so. And then we'll go to the actual dehydrating process. We're going to use an oven instead of dehydrating in a dehydrator. Now we're going to get the marinated, soon-to-be jerky out of the package. So it's right here. And get it out with some tongs. I mean, you can reach in with your hand, but try to put it on paper towel. Since it's going to be jerky, we want to dry that excess marinade off of there. I'm going to get one more piece. That's probably going to be enough for right now. Then I'm going to take up another piece of paper towel and blot the top of it off. Okay, so just take a paper towel and blot it off. Get that excess off of there. I'm going to lay that there. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my meat here, laying it on this tray. You don't have to use an elevated tray, but it's definitely going to help. You won't have to turn over the meat. We've got our cuts of meat here. I think going across the deal is going to be better, because otherwise some of these pieces might fall in between. But we're going to arrange those on there and make sure they're dry. Then we're going to put them in. Then we're going to put them in the oven. The oven is set for 175. The lowest it will go down is 170. As far as temperatures go, I've seen between 160 to 180. You want to keep it in there for 4 hours. I'm going to put this in for about 4 hours. There it is. I'll check on it for about every hour or so. Oh wow. Took a long time to get there, but this has been cooking for about 4 hours approximately, and it looks pretty dry. It looks like jerky, and I'm going to give it a little taste. Here we go. Looks pretty good. It's got a good flavor. I approve. My whole point in this video was to show you that you can make your own outdoor snacks, or just regular snacks, and maybe save yourself some money too. If you're like me, a lot of that stuff that you buy in the grocery store or the convenience store, etc., just really is not, the best stuff in the world. Hopefully with this video I gave you some basic instruction and some courage to make some on your own, or at least give it a good try. Don't take my word for it. Make your own. Make the recipe your own, and enjoy yourself while you're doing it. Please tell me in the comments below if you've ever made something like this before, or something similar. If you want to see some more videos like this where I'm making some homemade snacks or meals, leave me a comment. If this video gave you value of any kind, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell button. I try to release new videos every week. If you're watching this now, or in the next few weeks, I do have a contest going on. Make sure you check that out. Until then, I'll see you on the trail. Take care.